The Marquez brothers in Marquez territory here in Catalonia are looking to underline their class, which they've demonstrated for all of 2025.
He needs to steady the ship though, does Alex. Just one podium in the last 5. He's dumped it in Assen, Brno, and most recently in Balaton. You always got the sense, this kind of circuit, Rebel Ring in Hungary, the last couple of Grand Prix, stop-start, tight, twisty, not really playing to the strengths of Alex's sort of aggressive, fast and flowing riding style. And this really does play into his hands, doesn't it, the Barcelona circuit? And we know when he made his GP24 debut here in November, well, Alex creamed the field. He looked brilliant, and from the get-go, on day one on the GP24, he said, "This is the motorcycle that I've been waiting for. This is the bike that I can finally show my full potential in MotoGP." Has not disappointed, has he? Second in the World Championship.
Well, Marco Bezzecchi is looking to take a rather different route to the front row of the grid as he has the last couple of Grand Prix when he's gone through Q1, and that certainly puts him in a good position to avoid Q1 this time. Up into third place now on 1:38.475. Miller just behind him goes 9th, so we now have a trio of Yamahas up inside the top 10.
Look at this from the beast as well. It doesn't seem that long ago, does it, since we saw the number 23 at the top of the timesheets, but Bagnaia has been pushed back down to 15th now. There's been no improvement on his early 1:38.972. Acosta, though, is flying on another KTM. KTMs are having a field day here, aren't they, on day one in Catalonia. We're going to follow Bastianini now. Down the hill he goes, flings it onto the right-hand side through the Catalunya corner here in Catalonia. Bastianini, surely this is going to be a top 3, that 4th place for Bagnaia, 1:38.490. Iagura just behind the beast. The rookie's just set the 7th best time in this session, as Acosta does indeed go top. Binder, though, behind him. The two factory KTM teammates now first and second. Now this would be a shock. Brad Binder leading the way with a 1:38.141. What a Friday for KTM.
Well, their slogan is ready to race. They look it right now, don't they? Binder from Acosta, they've got a couple of 10s in their pocket over the Marquez brothers, and Marc Marquez not improving on this current lap. KTM's 1st, 2nd and 6th, and of course Maverick Vinales is in the pits at the moment, of course conserving energy, so what a Friday they're having. Marc Marquez does improve to a 38.3, but he's still 2:10 to drift.
I had a coffee last night in the KTM garage with a couple of Binder's mechanics. They were saying how much they need to find pace on a soft tyre. I'm going to go back for another coffee tonight and find out what on earth they've done since yesterday, because this has been superb by Binder. Mark then has just set his best time in the session, a 1:38.365. He's 4th fastest at the moment. Well, there are kind of 2 surprises in this session. Binder fastest, and Agura still holding on the 10th.
And Pecco Bagnaia just set his best lap time of the day, but fingers in your ears, Bagnaia fans, it was a 39.1. He's a 2nd off the pace, and those yellow flags, well, I was about to say those yellow flags are going to leave him stranded outside the top 10. He's not looking likely to get himself in at any rate.
Looks like somebody's down at turn 2. That's a tricky left-hander it is, at Johan Zarco. Now, could that be costly as far as Zarco's hopes of Q2 or direct place in Q2
Binder's
are going to go?
here.
Look at this by Binder. Brad Binder has stepped up to the plate here, hasn't he, on Friday in Catalonia. Yeah, no wonder the boss Pit Bymer gives a big nod of approval. Binder ain't going to stop that. You ain't stopping that, Brad. Nice try, but that one was not going to get stopped.
So Pecco Bagnaia, who's touring, he's now waiting. Well, there's yellow flags out again in Sector 1. They've just been cleared. They're now back out again. Is it for the same bike, or has someone else now entered one of the gravel traps? It's, in fact, Bastianini, who's gone down. Looks like he's also down at turn 2, and that's Pecco Bagnaia's goose well and truly cooked.
Yeah, that turn 2... Bike's on top of the air fence there, isn't it, on the exit of that second corner. You can see his airbags are activated as he hit the deck. It's not the first time that Bagnaia has caused a bit of KTM chaos here. Oh, look at that one. That is another big repair job overnight for the Beast crew. Yeah, he's livid, really frustrated with himself. In the middle of your picture is one of Bagnaia's mechanics with the grey goatee, Steve Blackburn.
Cancel your evening plans.
He's just looked up at the monitor and gone, Yeah, I'll call you after midnight tonight, darling.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm going to be staying in Montmello for the next 5 or 6 hours to repair that. Are there any changes coming then in the top 10? The only one who might change it is Aldeguer, who's improving in the third sector. Morbidelli, as you can see, on a personal best, but he's 8th anyway. Aldeguer looking to try and rescue himself up the order from 17th. But there's some big names here, aren't there, outside the top 10. Quartararo 11th, Mir 13th on the Honda that's got pace to be higher up than that. Aldeguer only goes 14th. Di Gian Antonio 17th, Martin 18th, and Pecco Bagnaia, miserable Friday in Montmello, well and truly complete 21st, which is third last.
Martin just cannot get anything at the moment, can he, out of a soft tyre on that Aprilia. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with his race pace, but when he has to go into time attack mode, it's just that lack of confidence, that lack of trust, which is really holding him back at the moment. Martin then 18th. He'll be concerned about that massive gap that there is in terms of the time attack pace. There's Danny Pedrosa from Pol Espargaro. What a great shot that is, of course. Two top talents who do so much great work behind the scenes as KTM's star-studded test team. Well, all that hard work those two have been putting in of late. But they were here for a private test recently, and well, that has paid off. Binder fastest on Friday here. No wonder they look so happy on the South African side of the factory KTM box. A 138.141 seals the deal for Binder. He's hotly pursued home by his teammate Pedro Acosta. And Bastianini, despite his rather expensive late crash at turn 2, does make it 3 KTMs then inside the top 10. Some other performances of note. Johan Zarco 8th. He was in the top 3 for so much of that session, although he was a late faller. Ayagura excelling. He picked his place behind Binder, didn't he? When Binder fired in his best lap of the session, he had Agura for company, and the Japanese rider goes through directly into Q2. Our 3 most recent MotoGP World Champions, in fact, make that 4, and they're all in Q2. Quartararo 11th, Mir 13th, Martin 18th, Bagnaia 21st. That is a heavyweight Q1, isn't it? Tomorrow morning here in Catalonia. But it has been the dream start through Chapter 15 in 2025 as far as Red Bull KTM factory racing are concerned. Binder flying in fastest, Acosta second and super strong.
Super strong. Boy, KTM looking strong on this opening Friday in Barcelona. They're fast in a straight line, but there's certainly much more to this KTM upturn than that. Certainly, whatever kind of corner, whatever kind of situation you put that KTM in around this Barcelona circuit, it is super quick. 3 of them inside the top 6, and you'd say they're only 3 fully fit riders comfortably through.
Yeah, Maverick Vinales, the outlier, and we'll excuse him, of course, because he's nowhere near his best physical shape right now. The Spaniard, he did a 139.308, left him down in 23rd place. Well, that was some conclusion, wasn't it, to that hour-long practice session here in Barcelona. Fabio Quartararo there, expressing his clear frustration. Quartararo is livid. He is absolutely raging.